Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Jo and I am going to refinish this vintage dresser. Um, I got it on Facebook Marketplace. It's a nice looking dresser, but it is structurally not sound. So I'm going to be using some wood glue, some clamps, and to fix the top and the drawers. There are some slides missing. I will fix them, and then we are going to again sand it down and painted. You can see on the sides the wood is broken, so for that I have a plan which I'll share as we progress in the video. So it is a perfect candidate for a painting. It has original casters, which is a plus point to move it around. It has a mirror with a lot of patina, so I'm going to put that later on, but now we are going to be working on this dresser. My plan is to use the hardware as is, but once we put it painted, we are going to see how this hardware is going to look like. So this is a different kind of hardware. Like you can see, it's screwed from the front, so we are going to remove all the hardware and just keep it aside. And once we paint, I'm going to see if I want to really use that hardware or I want to use a new one. So after removing the hardware, I'm going to sand this piece down, and for this I'm using a 150 grit sanding disc because it needs a light sanding just to make it free of the top coat that's on it and be ready to be painted with a coat of paint. So our sanding is done, and this is a wet wipe, baby wipe that I'm going to use. It's gentle on my dressers, on my furniture, so I'm going to wipe this whole piece down to free of any residue, any dust that is there, and make it ready for painting. So I wipe down the inside, the outside, everything before we move further. And it has a lot of dust. It is been sitting in someone's garage for a few months, so it needs a thorough cleaning from inside and out. This is the liner which I don't really like, so I'm going to remove this and probably use a new liner once we finish painting the dresser. So again, I'm going to clean the inside and make it ready so that we can start to paint this piece. And you can see, since it's an old dresser and after all the sanding and cleaning, this is how the wipe looks like. It's really dirty, so yes, we did a nice thorough clean. And now I'm going to paint it in this gorgeous red from Fusion Mineral Paint. And this is the first coat. The coverage looks really nice and neat. I am probably thinking that we will need like 3 coats again of this color because we want to cover the wood nicely. So yeah, let's begin with our first coat and then we will move on to more coats. So I finished painting this dresser in 3 coats. For the top, since it's in a nice condition, I'm going to restore it in some hemp oil and just revive it. And you can see it, the wood is just toning up well and is looking fabulous after I put the hemp oil on it. So this is the part that I decided not to paint and restore it to original. And I'm very happy that I did that and not paint it. So this is going to be the combination, including the mirror, that I'm not gonna paint. So for the sides, I'm going to use this Decoupage Decor tissue paper. Since I showed you in the beginning that one of the side is cracked, I found that this is a beautiful decoupage paper to use on this vintage dresser to line the sides and hide that imperfection, because stencil or any sort of wood or repair would not hide that. So this is how it looks like. You can see I just unfolded it and there are a lot of folding lines which we are going to take out by using our steamer, and we can just get rid out of these folding lines in like 30 seconds to 1 minute. So I'm going to use my steamer and we will steam this decoupage paper and we will get rid of the lines, and then we will move on to doing some decoupage. And I'm almost done. It's 30 seconds and look at this. We have the decoupage paper, which is all plain and neat. So let's begin to put it on the side. We are first going to measure, and it is half. So half we can use on one side and half on the other side. So it's a perfect size of the decoupage paper for this dresser. So to apply it, we need a gel, and I'm using the Decoupage gel in the matte finish. We get this in two finish, in shea, in gloss, and a matte. I prefer using a matte because that's how I will be sealing this piece. So I'm going to brush 1 coat of this gel on this dresser, and once I've covered the entire surface with the Decoupage gel, we are going to put the paper that we just cut out. So you don't have to put a lot of gel, just like one generous coat for the decoupage paper to stick. And once you put the paper on it, it really sticks well. You just need to secure the edges again and leave it to dry. You can seal it again with the decoupage gel that we are using, or you can seal it with the top coat that you use to seal your dresser or your furniture. This is a craft knife that is there on the website. I'm using that. It's very handy and neat to trim the excess decoupage paper on the base. So this is what we don't need, but we were able to use the entire sheet on this dresser. So we are done with applying our decoupage paper. Like I said, I'm going to secure the edges on all the 4 sides of this decoupage paper so that it doesn't come off in the future. So it's nice and secure. We are going to be using this transfer on the front. Again, it is a beautiful, gorgeous transfer. It's a foil transfer. You can see it comes in the foil. It's very delicate, it's pretty, and it stands out. So one tube has 2 sheets, and we are going to use both of them on this dresser. But first, after painting, I suggest always sanding your pieces, because before applying the transfer, you want a smooth finish, so that you don't have to sand after you apply the transfer and ruin the transfers. This is what I follow after painting. I use a 400 grit sanding sponge, sand it down, and then wipe off the dresser to free of any residue. So this is our first sheet of the transfer. The back looks silver, but this is how it goes on the transfer. It's all golden color, it's foil, it's delicate. So I'm going to put it right here in the center. Just press it down onto the dresser nicely so that it goes and sticks onto the paint. And then this is the transfer tool. I'm going to slowly go over the entire transfer to make sure it goes onto the surface, and then we are going to begin slowly to apply this transfer. So I'm holding like one edge and rubbing the transfer, and that's how a transfer is applied. So I'll go very slowly from the left hand side, rubbing it, and then just progressing to the sideways and downwards until we get the entire transfer onto this dresser. So this is our first sheet. We are done with applying this transfer, and let's remove and see how it looks like. Wow, isn't it gorgeous? I love it's popping so well against its beautiful red color. So this is the first sheet. Now we will move on to the second sheet. So if I measure, I think we can get half of the transfer from the second sheet onto this dresser. So I'm going to cut out the part that continues down this script, and we are going to be applying this script onto the dresser. So here we go. We have applied this transfer here. So this is all sealed. The top was already sealed, and I lined these drawers. I also sealed this entire dresser in Fusion Mineral Paint top coat in matte, so there is no sheen on it, you can see, and I decided to put on the original hardware. I love how the sides blend in the front, and everything just falls in place together. So this is the vintage dresser that got a new life.